Cool, this really is exclusive access. So this is Steve from the project looking after this thing. What is this and where are we?
Right, hello Tim. We are in Strawberry Hill Depot in southwest London, and this is 4VEP 3417. It's the last of its type. It was built in 1967 as an electric slam door commuter train. It's being restored at the moment for use on heritage lines and eventually use on the main line.
I'll tell you what, let's go and have a look around it and you can show us exactly what we're doing inside this machine.
Okie doke. We're unbelievably lucky. We're in this ex-London and South Western Railway shed. The shed was built in 1892. In the dim and distant past, the BR Research Department were in this shed. Now we're in here. So we're helping to keep the shed alive. We're keeping it warm, we're keeping it lit, we're keeping an eye on it. The shed is giving back to us. It gives us this secure, warm, dry place in order to do this work. We're astoundingly lucky. The reason this panel is off at the moment is that we're adjusting that to make sure that it comes up quickly enough to get to about there. So if it rains, it doesn't rain inside, but not so quickly that it catches your head on the way up and eats your fingers. This whole coach is being rewired. There was a wiring fault on the heating, so it turned out that we thought it was one seating bay. As you can tell, it was all of them. People contributed to the funds for the group. £10, £20, whatever they could afford. A fiver would do. And that money built up and up and up until we were in a position where we could buy some of this maquette. Then Maggie and Lynn started recovering these seats. If you'd have seen the state of them when we started, it's a different unit.
Have you thought about making some maquette scarves?
I have, and I think you've cornered that market, so we're not playing that game. Right, through here. It's an emergency ladder. If an emergency needs to get into the train, that's how it gets in. In fact, all modern trains still have an emergency ladder. It's a long way from the floor to the coach. Toilet. First class? Oh, doulettes. Interesting and little known fact. Moths don't like shake and vac. Did you know that? I didn't know that, but we've tried it. Anyhow, this is the non-shaked and vac seat, so let's sit down here.
Why are you restoring this train?
3 friends in a pub in Wimbledon are getting on for, where are we now, 20 years ago, when we knew that this unit was going to be preserved. It wasn't going to go for razor blades, which is what happened to almost all the others. 3 of us, after about the 5th pint, decided that this one couldn't be allowed to go. And through a mixture of luck and bloody mindedness, we found ourselves here. And I want to drive it again. But more than that, I want to sit in a coach on a sunny summer's afternoon on a private line somewhere and watch people enjoy riding up and down on it. That's what I want now. Railways aren't all about glamour. The Flying Scotsman, Pullmans, the Coronation Scot, fast expresses, they're all well and good. They didn't bring in the money. The commuter railway, just like the freight railway, brought in the money, and that was muck and drudge and grime. For these things, they did 40 years, up and down, to and from London. They were part of the engine that drove the expansion of London, of the economy. The commuter railway, as much as freight, and arguably far more than any named train you want to mention, made the country go. It made the country go. This did it in the south of England, but there were commuter railways in the Midlands, there were commuter railways in the north and in Scotland. Those stories deserve to be remembered. The amount of people who get on this thing and say, the first thing they say is, it smells right. I remember that smell. 9 times out of 10 people will start to say, I went to my first interview on one of these, or on a first date, I went to university, I remember going to school on these things. All those stories are wrapped up in vehicles like these, and this is the last one. This is the last complete 4VEP All the others are bean cans or razor blades now. Those stories shouldn't be forgotten. We're a very small group. We've worked very, very hard. Some of us are no longer here. And now the payoff is going to be that first journey in service. Yeah, that's why I do it.
I love that Steve and the team are using this old shed still to maintain wonderful bits of kit. Now, because it's a live depot technically, all those people who work on that project have to be members of staff of South Western Railway, so they can go and work in the main depot itself. So there really aren't many of them there, and it also means it's rare to get a chance to see inside it as well. So thank you very much to you guys for showing us in there today. I look forward very much to hearing about just how they do work with a locomotive owner, for example, to haul their unit from that depot and take it all across Network Rail to find paths for it around between the various passenger trains to all those heritage lines all over the UK. I guess this Christmas, please do raise a toast to that merry band of my friends, the Southern Electric Traction Group, who frankly are doing all this so that you and I can one day experience something that was once really very ordinary, but will now be quite extraordinary. To get the latest on the project, do visit setg.org.uk, and maybe while you're there, chuck them a couple of quid perhaps, a donation towards them, or something for tea bags, you know. Anyway, have an electric Christmas, guys.